Guess who's back? Back again. Back for another video. And this is your boy, the Ninja Canadian. And today, I have decided to share with all of you some tips and tricks for Blair. Now, for those who are unfamiliar with Blair, Blair is basically the Roblox version of Phasmophobia. That's basically what it is. So, the very first tip I have for you is, of course, effective communication. That is always important, especially when you're playing with someone and you can't talk with them with the mic or using like Discord or just a simple phone call, because with communication you all will actually find the ghost faster. Like if you are in the van and someone on your team is in the house or a church or somewhere that's not the van, and you see ghost orbs on the cameras, then please, for the love of everything that is fluffy, you tell your teammate that you've got ghost orbs. Because ghost orbs are one of the most important pieces of evidence. Once you find ghost orbs, or you don't find ghost orbs, you almost immediately get rid of like half of the possible ghosts that the ghost can be. And speaking of the ghosts, there is actually 15 of them, so I'm just gonna hop into a match so that I can show all of you. But before I do that, there's these items here. The items are really useful. I honestly cannot for the life of me figure out what the heck the glow stick does, but the UV light is the only way that you can find fingerprints. That is, if the ghost actually has fingerprints. The EMF reader does exactly what it's called. It reads what the EMF is, because some ghosts have the EMF as an evidence. The spirit box allows you to actually hear the ghost, but there are some ghosts that do not have the spirit box as an evidence, and the spirit box can only work if the lights are actually off. Otherwise, it will not work. The salt is pretty much useless. there's only one ghost that will step in the salt, and it's a wraith. The photo camera lets you take a picture of the ghost. The crucifix stops a ghost hunt, no matter what ghost it is. However, the crucifix is more effective against demons, because when there's a demon, the crucifix actually has a higher range. Like 80 studs or something like that, while with every other ghost, the crucifix usually only has about 60. The parabolic microphone allows you to hear banshees, and it's either like 30 decibels or 35 decibels, either way. If there's a sound over that, then chances are that there's a banshee. The ghostwriting book lets you collect the ghostwriting evidence, and what's more is that if the ghost does have ghostwriting, has a piece of evidence, if you're just simply close enough to it, or if it's close enough to a camera and you're looking through a camera, you can actually hear the ghost right in the book. The thermometer lets you find the coldest room, and well, the coldest room is always the ghost room. So, say that the temperature is already cold. Like, say that it's about 10 degrees Celsius in the map. If you find a room and it's like 7 or 8 degrees Celsius, while the rest of the map is about 10, then that room is the ghost room. And plus, the thermometer also serves as freezing temperature evidence. And there's actually something unique about the thermometer and the EMF reader, but we will wait until I am in a live match to show you, as I think that showing you would be the best bet. The video camera, really the only thing the video camera does is just let you see if you have any ghost orbs. And if you see ghost orbs, those weird white floating balls that are moving in ways that balls should not be moving, then you've gotten rid of like half the ghosts that the ghost could be. If you don't have ghost orbs, then you get rid of the other half. The lighter, honestly, in my opinion, the lighter is a bit more useless than the salt. But the lighter does serve a purpose if one of your missions is to have the ghost blow out a candle, then obviously you need the lighter to light a candle. Or if you need to use the incense burner for anything, then you need the candle to light the incense burner. Then there is also I forget what the actual name of it is, but then there's also the ritual, which you need the lighter to light, and the ritual is one of the 3 cursed objects. But we will get to those in just a moment. The sanity soda, when you drink it, it replenishes your sanity by about 25 to 35%. It's always somewhere in there. The strong flashlight is like your regular flashlight, wherever it is. Oh, look at that, it's not even in here. But the strong flashlight is like the regular flashlight, but it's strong. Than the regular flashlight. And then we have the incense burner. I honestly have no idea what the incense burner even does. All I know is that if you light it in time, then you can stun the ghost while it's hunting. And those are the different items in Blair, and as we can see here, there's even kits. There's the big pockets, and the wimp, and the cat, but all of them are Robux. But if you have the Robux to spare, then the big pockets lets you carry one extra tool. The wimp makes it so that you have a lot more stamina, and you move faster. And the cat gives you an extra life. But the ones we want to talk about are the ones that are not Robux. So for $2,500, you can buy the all-seeing one. You always have a light on you. Then there's the Ghost Whisperer. You've been around ghosts your whole life, and you can hear them without a spirit box. So, basically, if the ghost has the spirit box for evidence, and you can hear them without grabbing the physical spirit box, the priest! Your kind nature will make your entire team lose less sanity. And I'm gonna be honest, up until now, I always thought that the priest was actually a dude. Turns out that the priest is actually a girl. Probably change it at some point. Anyway. So basically, this will make it so that every player in the entire match will lose 5% less sanity over time. The Ouija Master. Interacting with the Ouija board, one of the cursed objects, will cost 50% less sanity. So, if you ask the ghost, where are you, on the Ouija board, that question actually costs 50% sanity, but with this kit, you will actually... it will only cost 25% sanity instead of 50%. The doctor lets basically constantly makes your sanity go up every 60 seconds. So that's pretty good. The technician, the one that I currently have, means that you will always be able to find the fuse box. So a waypoint is placed at the fuse box, visible for the user. This is especially useful when dealing with the bigger maps, like the Aldrich Hotel. Like, the basement in that map is way too big, in my opinion. The engineer repairing the fuse box will take 80% less time for the user, which basically means that you can, like, instantly repair it. And then we have Brave, which means that you'll take 20% less sanity during sanity reduction events. And, yeah, that's basically it for the lobby. So we will hop into a live match so that we can watch the tips and tricks in place. And I chose the farmhouse because, believe it or not, the farmhouse is actually the easiest one. So, what we need to do is, the ghost name doesn't really matter unless you're in the mood to have an angry ghost go after you. So we need to capture a photo of the ghost, use a cursed object in the location, and prevent the ghost from hunting with the crucifix. Well, I kind of forgot to actually grab the crucifix, and I don't have the Pocket Crucifix Game Pass. So, we'll only be able to complete 2 of these. And they are, take a photo and use the cursed object. And if you see that blue circle right there, well, that's actually exactly where the fuse box is. So what we need to do is we need to now wander around the entire house and to look for the coldest room. So this room is cooling down, but it just heated up again. This room is at 17 degrees, but we might get lucky and have a different coldest room. And let's turn off this water. And so when you have freezing temperatures as a piece of evidence, then the numbers on the thermometer will actually turn blue, signaling freezing temperatures, and this is what I meant by the ritual has... I was busy talking. This is what I meant by the ritual. As you can see, we will need to light 5 candles to completely light it. But we do have the ritual. However, we also need to use the cursed object in the location. So, clearly this is the coldest room. You can especially tell because the door closed, which means that we will now need to grab the UV light and see if there's any fingerprints. We also need to be in the van anyway, so that we can see if we've got Gorbies. And you see these weird yellow balls floating? That means that we've got Gorbies. And like I said, if you've got Gorbies, then you can get rid of like half the ghosts. And shaboom, we got rid of like half of the ghosts. There's 15 of them, and we got rid of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So half-ish. So now we know that it's not going to be the ones that I absolutely hate trying to go after. However, we will be grabbing the salt, because we know that the ghost can potentially be a wraith. And wraiths are the only ghosts that do not step in salt. So, now we know that it's not a wraith. However, we also see that there's fingerprints here, Which means that, yeah, it's definitely not a wraith. So, Harrow pulled her Geist or Strigoi. Okay. So, now what we do is, while we wait for the temperatures to drop, what we will do is we will grab a spirit box. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that only one of them has spirit box, and it's the poltergeist. So, we will grab we'll grab this, and we'll grab this. Why are we grabbing the lighter, you may ask? Well, it's because we need to activate the ritual in order to complete an objectivo. Couldn't you have at least closed this door? Would have been helpful. And, cause see, you may think we're not getting any spirit evidence right now, but that's because the light's on. So we need to turn the light off. Wait for the ghost to talk into it. If it will talk into it, turns out that it's not going to be talking into it, so we know that it is, in fact, not a polty. And this is where the fun begins. Because, let's see here. Use curse object. And we know that the curse object is the ritual. And I honestly don't really care if I die or not. But there's something unique about the thermometer that not the thermometer, the EMF reader that I noticed. And ever since noticing that, it's been really easy to collect spirit to get EMF evidence, or not. So as you probably noticed, the use a curse object in for the mission is actually activated as soon as I lit only one candle. But we will need to light all 5 of these. Well, cause see, I don't know if you noticed, but as the ghost was coming towards me, the EMF only might have been spasming, but the highest it went was a 4, which means that we do not have EMF 5, which means that it is a Harrow. Which means we'll have ghost writing. We would have ghost writing if the ghost actually had that as evidence. And I see that the Harrow is still trying to hunt us. But another thing that you all should know is that the ghost type almost never is determined by the ghost model. So if you're familiar enough with ghost models, did you hear that locking? That was actually the front door locking, which means that it's 100% starting to hunt again. And there's actually an easy way to see if a hunt is over or not. Let me just activate my night vision, open up the door. I am making a YouTube video. And I mean, usually, I guess it's only in the Aldridge Hotel, but I'm used to the lights flickering while there is the, while there's a hunt going on, and I assume it's safe, so I'm just gonna go. And it was safe. So, even though the EMF might be spasming, and yes, I did go down to 0% sanity, but honestly, sanity to me does not really matter in this game. But, as you saw, the EMF reader was spasming while the ghost was hunting, like as long as the ghost was close. But I knew that the ghost did not have EMF level 5 because whenever the EMF starts to spasm a lot, no matter what ghost it is, the EMF reader will only go to the highest level that the ghost has. So if the ghost has level 5 EMF, then the EMF reader will spasm all the way up to 5. If the ghost does not have EMF level 5, then it will only go up to 4. Which is how I knew that we have ourselves, that we got ourselves a hero. So, now, for the moment of truth. Do I have myself a... Did I have myself a hero? Or was the game... the game was rigged! Sometimes it does that. I mean, I hate it when it does that, but sometimes it does that. Sometimes the ghost will trick you into making you think that it's one thing when it's actually another. And, I guess that I'll just end off with not necessarily another match, but more like an overview of what the different ghosts do. Yeah, I think that's a good plan. So, we've got the 15 different kinds of ghosts. So, the one I will be talking about will be the one that is circled. So, the Banshee. The Banshee is a kind of frustrating one to deal with. Simply because the Banshee is one of the most bloodthirsty ghosts in the game, it will try to constantly attack you, and as soon as it starts a hunt, you better be hiding. And if you're playing in a team, then you better hope that all of your teammates are hiding as well. Because As soon as the Banshee starts hunting, it will randomly target a specific person, and it will go after that person for the entire match, like it is locked onto them, until the match is either over or that person is dead. And once it locks onto somebody, you better hope that it's not you. Now, onto the demon! We hate the demon with a passion of exactly 1,000 burning suns, no more, no less. The demon is like the Banshee, but it doesn't lock onto anybody. It just goes after whoever happens to be the closest one. Unless you start a hunt using a cursed object, then it will go after whoever triggered the hunt with the cursed object. So if it was you who started a hunt with a cursed object and you happen to have a demon, then I am so sorry for you, because you are about to die. Unless you get really lucky and you manage to hide in time, you are about to die. The Faker is actually one of the newest ghosts in Blair. And the Faker is honestly a kind of hard ghost to actually guess, but there is a way that you can tell if a ghost is a faker or not. A really easy way too. But in order to pull it off, you need to trigger a hunt and almost die. Because this is going to be a bad example, but when hunting, the ghosts, their walking will sound more like do 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 do. But when the faker is hunting, the footsteps will actually sound like do 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 do. So that's a relatively easy way to tell the difference between a faker and every other kind of ghost. If you do get a faker. The hero basically forces you to try and speedrun. Because once you get close to the ghost room, you better hope that it does not trigger a hunt, because it can and will trigger a hunt, because the hero does not like people. The Lament is honestly, I would say that before the Faker was added, the Lament was the hardest one. Because the Lament, in my personal experience, it's kind of like the demon and the hero had a kid together, and the Lament was the result. Like, it's got the aggressiveness of the hero mixed with the overall horror that the demon has. The mayor is meh, cause if you've got a mare, you're basically safe as long as you keep the lights on, because the mare for some reason, does not like having the lights on. In fact, it hates lights so much that it will actually try to constantly turn the lights off. Depending on the difficulty, of course. I think it only happens on, like, hard and nightmare mode. The Nook is honestly really peaceful. Like, the Nook is your friend. Unless you happen to have a certain item in your inventory, don't ask me what that is. I have no idea what it is. Then the Nook will take that item out of your inventory and then take it with them, and you will never ever see that item again for the entire match. The Poltergeist, good old Polty. Well, out of all of them, this is the one that you should arguably be the most familiar with, because Polties love to yeet objects. In fact, the Poltergeist can actually throw and interact with more different kinds of objects than the other ghosts can. The Revenant is, while it is a peaceful ghost, it's honestly really hard to actually guess, simply because the Revenant, the only way to actually see if you've got a Revenant or not, just based off of its behavior, is if it's hunting. Because the Revenant, as long as it's just going about its business, is really slow. Like, it is as slow as a snail. But as soon as it spots a target, whether it be you or one of your friends, you better hope that you make it to a hiding spot in time, because the Revenant will, like, instantly go from a, really slow ghost to, like, this game's equivalent of, like, Sonic the Hedgehog. It is that fast. The Shade is more of an annoying ghost to guess, because both the Shade and the Spirit are roughly, they're basically the same kind of ghost. Really, the only difference between them is the evidence they have. Whereas, for example, a Spirit has fingerprints while the Shade doesn't, and the Shade has spirit orbs, or ghost orbs, while the Spirit does not have ghost orbs. And likewise, the Spirit has a spirit box, which makes sense, while the Shade doesn't. Shade has EMF 5, the Spirit doesn't. Neither of them have freezing temperatures, apparently. But both of them have ghost writing, so really the only differences between them are like these ones, because that's the evidence for a Shade, and this is the evidence for a Spirit. So, however, the Shade, if you have the ritual and you do light it up to start a hunt, if you have a Shade, then fun fact, the Shade will actually not start a hunt at all, which is honestly pretty useful. Because then, if it comes down to with a basically, if it comes down to with a shade or a spirit, because it's clearly not a hero or a revy, all you need to do, and if ghost writing is somehow the only one you actually have, wow. Then really all you need to do is just trigger a ghost hunt, and you'll have EMF level 5, or you won't have EMF level 5. Then we have the Strigoi. The Strigoi loves water. Loves it. Thinks it's the greatest thing since cheese. If you keep turning it off, then you'll keep angering it, which will make it want to kill you and hunt you and make you unalive. The Wraith is actually surprisingly peaceful. And the Wraith is actually the only one that will not step in salt. So if you happen to have one of the evidences for a Wraith, which would be ghost orbs, freezing temperatures, and ghost writing, then really all you need to do is just grab a thing of salt, throw it onto the ground, and if it's a Wraith, then you basically just locked it inside of its ghost room for eternity, because it does not like salt, it's allergic to it. Then we've got the two Japanese ones, the Yama and the Yurei. The Yama is really, really, really annoying to deal with. Like, I hate getting the Yama has a ghost. Because what the Yama does is it will constantly wander around the map. And because of that, it's really hard to see which room the ghost room actually is. And the Yurei is kind of like the Yama. And once it starts a hunt, or you trigger a hunt to see what the ghost is, if you have a Yurei, then you turn on that EMF to see if you've got EMF level 5 or not. And then you turn that thing off, like, as soon as you can. Because the Yurei is attracted to loud electronics, so that would be the EMF reader, the spirit box, and if you have the Game Pass, the night vision as well. And I think that's it for Blair tips and tricks. Oh wait, no, I almost forgot about the I almost forgot about the curse objects. So we already saw one of them, the ritual. So we already know what the ritual does, but let's see what curse object we have this time. And holy moly, it's so bright in here. So, in the farmhouse, I highly recommend doing the farmhouse for your first few rounds, simply because of how compact it is. But the farmhouse, you see where that blue dot is? That's where the fuse box is this time. It's It also happens to be in the same room that the ritual is in, and we will see that later, if it's here. No, it's not here. This is the Ouija board. If you activate it, you can ask where it is, or why it is, or how it is, or how many pickles it can shove up its butt. I'm just kidding, you can't ask that. But only reason why I'm not gonna activate it is simply because I kinda don't want to get myself clapped. So that's where the Ouija board spawns. The tarot cards, we can ignore that. The tarot cards actually spawn like exactly where I'm standing right now. And what the tarot cards do is, well, put simply, they basically ensue chaos. And the ritual, as we saw in the last match I did, spawns right here, right on top of this rug, and yeah, as you can see, the fuse box will always have a waypoint on if you have the technician. Now, what do the tarot cards do? Well, there's quite a few tarot cards. The Tower, one of the most common ones, makes it... Can you not? So, the Tower forces the ghost to interact with an object. The Hermit locks the ghost in the ghost room for 60 seconds, which is sometimes useful, but most of the time it's really not. Then we have Wheel of Fortune. If the card turns red, then the user loses 25% sanity, and if it's green, then the user gains 25% sanity. Then we have the Sun, which makes the loser gain all of their sanity. The Moon makes the user lose all of their sanity. So those are the kind of boring ones, if I'm being honest. The fun ones are the Monstrosity, which makes it so that a ghost event happens. So if you pull the Monstrosity and the ghost appears, then do not worry, it's only a ghost event, it's not a ghost hunt, so you don't have to worry about hiding or anything. You do have to worry about losing her sanity a little bit, but honestly, I wouldn't worry about it, like, at all. The, the trap makes it so that the user instantly dies. And in fact, the trap is actually the newest addition to the tarot cards that got introduced in the last Blair update, along with the Faker, the Nook, the Strigoi, the Aldridge Hotel, and only on Nightmare mode, there is a very small chance that the Blood Moon will happen. Y'all better hope that you never see the Blood Moon on this channel, like, at all. I'm just saying that now. But back to the tarot cards. The there's three more. There is also death. If you pull death, then that is a ghost hunt right there. And y'all better hide, otherwise one of y'all is going to get clapped. Then there's the High Priestess. The High Priestess is actually very, very rare. But it basically makes it so that if you die, you get brought back to life. Then, shush, shush, shush. Then, we have the last card. And it's called the Fool. It does literally nothing. I mean, K, it makes it so that whatever card you did pull is ineffective. Like, it makes it so that it does not work, but that's basically all the Fool does. And, that might actually, be, it. Yeah, I think that's, all I have, for today. So, well, yeah, if you, find these tips helpful, then, give this video a thumbs up, and also subscribe for, more, Roblox content, and, just gaming, content in general, like Roblox, World of Warships, Geometry Dash, Minecraft, Azure Lane. Oh yes, it is also the month of Halloween, and it is spooky season! We like spooky season, which means that we will be, we might actually, just grind different horror games in, Roblox. And, if you guys have any, suggestions, then, let us know, and, my, friend and I will, see if we are able, to play it or not, because while my, computer can handle basically any, game that Roblox, has, my, friend, plays on, his phone, and there are just some games that his, phone, cannot handle at all. Yeah. Cause, for example, my game, graphics is actually, set to the absolute max, so I get to see all of the pretty pictures. But, yeah, cause even on my phone can barely handle level 4 graphics. But I'm lucky enough that my computer can handle maximum graphics. But either way, if you find these tips and tricks helpful for your next Blair match, then leave a thumbs up, and also consider subscribing for future gaming content. And if you really want, you can also leave a comment letting me know if a tip or a trick did not work for you. And I will do my best to see a potential reason why it didn't work for you. And if there's any way that you can get it to work for you, because I may not be a pro at this game, but at this point I consider myself to be pretty good. Because basically just treat this game the same way you treat Phasmophobia, and you're already most of the way there to being a good player in this game. So, I hope that all of you have a good rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, day, night, or wherever you happen to be in the world right now. And I will see you. Screw you, Ghost. I'm trying to do an outro right now. But I will see you in the next one.